Hi, and welcome to A Punk with Toys. My name is Lawrence, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Skeletron Gyre Wolf, the Red Shadows. I think it's called Gyre Wolf. I don't know if I'm wrong. My moderator Matthew Matson will yell and scream at me for being wrong. Anyway, here is what we're looking at. I just want to quickly show you. I got two of these. I already have one kind of open there. It comes in a sealed bag, so if it gets delivered in the rain, the snow, and it melts or whatever, your figure should be fine. The box should be fine. In case you don't want to open your toys. Again, I don't know why you don't want to open your toys, but hey, you collect how you want. Anyway, so here we are. We're taking a look at this guy. This is a silver version of the wolf, I guess you could say. He does have a different helmet, and then he has an actual face portrait. Now, this is Gary Goggles. He was someone else that was in the community who recently passed away, or passed away a few years ago. I know nothing about him, so I'm not going to try and, come up with some story. But from what I understand, he was pretty beloved in the community. So Skeletron, they went on and did another homage, which they've done of many people, and I think it's awesome that they can do stuff like this. So anyway, here's your artwork. Again, Red Shadows Gyre Wolf. It is number 6 in the line. It has this weird cut, so open it from the bottom. Here you have, I guess that's the G right there, and then on the back you get the file card if you would like to read it, and then you get the cross sell. And I have all of these figures either in hand or on order, but I don't know what these two are, and I'm really interested to find out because the Wolf Troopers were really cool, so I'm really excited to get this open. But there's no reason to continue to look at me. Let's take a look at this figure. I will compare him to the 4-inch figure that was also made a couple years ago. So anyway, let's get into it. But before we do, if you like this type of content, you like when I drop these Skeletron reviews, take a second, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification so you're notified every time I drop a Skeletron review. Alright, so here he is out of his plastic prison. So let's go over everything. And again, if you saw my review on the Wolf Trooper, this is going to be very much the same as the Buck is a complete repaint, although the head and the helmet is completely different. So first you're going to get this stand. It is smooth on the top. It is etched on the bottom. You got these 3 pegs right here, so you do have the Skeletron logo right there. Once again, I don't need stands because these are 6-inch figures and they stand perfectly fine. You also get this stand, and if you've seen this here, then you know it is the exact same one. So I don't know the purpose of this. It looks like it's some sort of circle thing. Maybe Doctor Strange is bringing him into a portal. I'm not sure. But it does have this nice detail behind it. You can kind of see like sparkles and everything. Maybe it's supposed to be stars. I think that's kind of what it's supposed to be, but it does have 3 pegs right there. All right, and I know what you're wondering. Does it glow in the dark? Well, that's a really damn good question, and luckily, we have this to look towards the end. All right, so let's go over the accessories and everything that he does come with. So he's going to come with 3 sets of hands, the trigger hands that are on them. You have the punching hands, same as the other one. Now you do have the silver, which really makes him pop. All right, kind of more like a chrome, I guess silver. I guess it's somewhat of a chrome there. It's very shiny right there. It looks like it has some sort of knuckle protectors on it, but this is going to protect the top of the hand, and you can see some detail right there. Then you're going to get the thumb wrestling hands. All right, so if he needs to carry something, a cup, a mug, different things like that, he can. You can see the glove. You can see the detail in it. Again, it does look really nice, and you get the ridges and the protection right there. All right, we're going to get this one blast effect here. Now, it is like this yellow into orangish translucent. It is soft, just like the Hasbro ones, the whether it be Marvel Legends and or G.I. Joe Classified. It has an explosion, and again, you can see this is either a laser or a bullet firing out of it. We're going to get these 2 grenades, and they plug into the back of his backpack, which I will show you how they go on. Got a little bit of red little red paint apps right there, but they do look pretty cool. And I will say this, when I plugged them in there, they stay on actually pretty well. But still be very careful, because if you hit them the wrong way, they easily can come off. Alright, so we have the pistol. Alright, same as before, you get the red little dot right there, but now rather than painted in red, it is silver. You have the port for blast effects, which will plug in nice and easily without a problem. Alright, and it does look good. I gotta say, the hand fits in perfectly fine here. You can see this guy right here holding it. It does look the same as the one that came with him. Alright, so it does look pretty good there. Let me just pop it off, I guess. Should have done that to begin with. Alright, so when you look at it, you can see all the exact same details in it. One has a port for blast effects, the other doesn't. Now, if you have the Robo Skull and or the weapons pack, this came with the Robo Skull. I noticed it in the weapons pack because I haven't opened it yet. Well, that is a laser blast, and it does fit in perfectly fine there. It seems a little loose, but because of the sturdiness of it, you won't have any problems. So if you have some of these do work perfectly fine in this. Alright? Or the rifle. Here's the rifle, which I don't believe he came with the rifle, which is why in the upgrade kit for this, I think it comes with a silver rifle. So what you're going to get is 2 magazines. It only plugs in one way. There's no bullet on it. And it does stick out a little bit here. And if you look at my review over there, you'll see it. They are the same weapons for the most part. Alright, so you have a stock that looks like it's supposed to be collapsible. A little bit of silver paint on it. You got the nice grip, the trigger guard and the trigger. You got your handle. You got your port for blast effects. And both these weapons remind me of the V weapons. This really reminds me of the V weapon. If you didn't watch V in the 80s, then you probably don't know what I'm talking about. But if you remember, they had 2 different types of weapons, and they actually fit pretty well. They kind of looked good together. So, there you go. Yeah. Hold on one second. Alright, anyone wondering, this is the V weapon. I forgot I had one, or I bought one at Motor City Comic Con. So you kind of see what I'm talking about. It kind of gives me that feel. But if you remember the actual TV show, the rifles and the pistols were similar. Alright, so there is that. So we're going to get these claws. Now they're straight, but they definitely do move, so they're not just going to break right there. You get some red paint apps right there. You get the silver, and now this is just painted black. They fit right over onto his forearms, and I'll show you in a little bit. And if we pop this one off here, it actually looks like they might be a little bit longer, and not just because they're 6-inch, but I feel like these are supposed to be a little bit longer in general, like comparing them. But you don't have any red on here. You don't have any silver on this one. It's just a regular silver. But for the most part, they are the exact same types of claws. Then we get the backpack, which is going to face down this way. This is some sort of a jump jet pack. You get arrows that are shooting, I'm assuming, to the exhaust that's going to make them fly. Not sure exactly what this is, but it has some red paint apps right on the inside there. There you have the circle again. Now this has two portholes. For the 4-inch stuff, this is for accessories for the Marauder Gunrunners, who originally made the 4-inch figures. I was told they're also making the 6-inch figures, but I don't see Marauder Gunrunner anywhere on the box, so I'm not sure. So I'm not going to pass it on as something that's exactly true. So we have something here. Not really sure what that's supposed to be, but on this side we have exactly what the backpack is. Even on the inside here, it goes on his back. You can see all the detail and everything. And when you look here, they do give you a little bit there. You get the arrows on the exhaust, and the detail for the most part is the exact same. including this. So I'm not sure if there's anything that's going to come for that. It's almost like they just kind of enlarged it, but there are a few subtle differences. Like there's more detail actually on the 4-inch one here than on here. So who knows? And as for the claws, they just kind of pop in like that. And you can put them in the down position, but I believe they're supposed to go in the up position. And they snap on pretty nicely, to be honest. All right. Here we have the helmet. I have the 4-inch helmet right here. So, this is different than that helmet. All right. So, you kind of have the mohawk black here. You can see that this is supposed to be like, it looks like a visor, like it's supposed to go back. All right. You have the red with clearly some sort of markings on it in silver. It still has like a wolf style face. You kind of got the nose. And it just looks like it's some sort of oxygen mask form. But again, all in all, it looks really, really good. So here we have the same face sculpt that's here, except it's translucent. And if it is like this one, then it is going to be glow in the dark. And like I said, we will test it out shortly. So looking at it here, you can see his hair all through here. You can see where the goggles are wrapping around. They sit up on his forehead. They are not movable. He has a nice big beard. You can't see if there's any paint apps in the eye, but we'll be able to take a look at that one in a second, and you can see the nose. All right. Then we get to the actual figure. And I'll quickly grab... You can see the two head sculpts, and you can see that they're the same. But man, you can't tell me that you can't get better detail in these 6-inch figures. There's nothing wrong with this, but man, this is a great sculpt of this figure, of this character, of this person in real life. So quickly, he has his goggles with the exact same insignias on it that you see right here. This guy is clearly bald, and I love how they did the hair around here. I'm not sure if I've seen anyone else really do anything like that. Now, it does look like they're missing. The paint apps missed just a slight bit. That's disappointing, but I don't know. It could be worse. It could be better. Then we have the strap, and you can see the detail on the strap going around. Good looking eyes. The beard, the goatee all look good, along with the nose. We get to his plate carrier, and then we have the tubing, I'm assuming for oxygen, that leads to his little Darth Vader chest piece here. That's probably monitoring the oxygen. Now, I gotta say, it has red and then the silver, but having the black screen really does make it pop more than that. I wish they had like a blue or even a red maybe, just to have it look like it's something that's going to illuminate, because I'm assuming this is supposed to be a screen of some sort. All right, over here, he has a non-cobra symbol. I really have no idea. It looks like an arrow through the red. So maybe for the Red Shadows Gyre Wolf. I don't know. And a lot of armor. So you have these gauntlets, nice paint apps going all the way down. And then you have the trigger fingers, which do look really good. On this side, we have the G for Gyre Wolf, I'm assuming. All right, but you got the little black up here. You got the little Wonder Woman look right there. And we'll compare those in a second. I almost grabbed them. Even on the back, you get the paint apps all around here. And this looks like it's maybe supposed to magnetize to it. I'm just guessing. But it looks like it may magnetize to it. All right, you get to the belt that has the little triangles right here. A couple pouches. Here's the holes for the grenades. And then you have one pouch for the extra magazine. As we go down, he's got some pockets in the back. You can see the wrinkles and the texture in the pant leg, which I think looks awesome. Here's where you're going to plug in the pistol. He's got the silver knee pads going all the way down to the shin guards. And again, this is where I feel like it reminds me of the first series or first couple series of the G.I. Joe Classified. All right, although these don't get in the way, fortunately. And then on the back, we have these little wolf feet. So, comparing the two figures, you can see it, they both have the Skeletron logo. Oops. Right here, they still have the red and the black. That looks the exact same. And then you have the tubing going all the way up for his ventilation. He has the logo right there on the side there. And then he has the G over on that side. Down to the gauntlets, you see the red on both. The belt is very similar with 2 pouches, but on the back, he has 4 different grenades where he only has 2 and he does not have a magazine. They both have the piece on the side right here for the pistol, the silver on the back piece on the boots, and the boots all look the exact same. And if you look, they both have the wolf feet. As for articulation here, these figures will look up, but unfortunately you have to remove this, and we'll do that in a second. So he can look up more than that, and then he can look down. Once again, he'll be able to do that more once this is removed. All right, there's his T-pose. He turns at the bicep and at the shoulder, double pinless elbows. His hands are going to swivel. They do pop off nice and easy to swap these out, but I like to have trigger fingers on it. He does have the diaphragm cut, will allow him to rock, and he can turn side to side. They use the same type of joint here as the G.I. Joe Classified, not like the Marvel Legends, so when you turn, there isn't a weird break like you see on Marvel Legends. He has drop-down hips, so here's his Jean-Claude Van Damme. And when you bring it down, this is what a drop-down hip is if you're wondering. To me, it's one extra thing that can go wrong and break. There's your thigh swivel, double pinless knees, boot swivel, and then you have your ankle rockers. This figure is actually a little bit smoother than those figures, especially around the boot cut. All right, so we're gonna pop off the head here. Now, if you want to remove these, because there are accessory pack, or there is an accessory pack that allows you to change this out. This just pops out really easily. Maybe it doesn't. And I had no problem getting this back on. Of course, I'm having a hard time getting it off. So this comes off. And if we drop the head on here, maybe. You'll be able to see he can look up and he can look down. Extremely nice. He does have the butterfly joints, which helps to push the arm over. But again, I don't feel like they work well enough. Everyone seems to be doing it, but it's more for aesthetic, in my opinion, than actual functionality. All right, let's get that back into place like that. All right. So there we go with this guy here. Where's my other one? And there's my other guy right there. And everyone was wondering if they glow in the dark. Well, we hit them with the UV light. And we'll see quickly that they definitely do glow in the dark. So like the 4-inch figure, the 6-inch figure also glows in the dark. At least the head and the stand do. So this is something that I know people love glow in the dark. I too do love glow in the dark. But you need yourself a nice little UV light, and it'll make life really easy for all your glow in the dark toys. All right, so there you go. That's the glow in the dark. We're gonna pop this off here. Now to throw this back on. As a matter of fact, before we throw this back on, let's throw everything back in here. So you do have a magazine. And the magazine seems to fit best if it goes in upside down. And now this here, I found, at least with the other ones, you can just kind of wiggle it back and forth, and it'll fit right in there nice and easy. I did watch Toy Connections. Ken Poe posted a video. He put a little flat head underneath it, I think it was, just to kind of push it away. and then was able to push on it. I didn't have any problems doing this. Ken's a little special, so sometimes you got to give him a little bit of give him a little leeway, a little heads up, so he can do things his own way. It makes him feel good inside. Anyway, this thing pops on. If anyone's wondering, Ken and I are pretty good friends. All right, like that's just me. Before anyone says, going, Ken, did you hear what Punk said about you? Yes, I said it. And Ken's probably laughing right now watching. Anyway, so these pop on really easily. Better than all the other mushrooms that we've seen with these plate carriers and stuff. Now, that doesn't work. We're going to throw this head on. As cool as the glow-in-the-dark is, yeah, he needs to have a real head sculpt, in my opinion. And then we can pop on that head sculpt. And that looks awesome. The helmet looks amazing. All right. As for arming him up, we can take this. And if you kind of slide it on the side, this thing will just slide on without a problem. All right. Put the backpack on after, only because you'll move it around too much with the claws on it when you're trying to pose him. So you can get the rifle in his hand along with that. His wannabe Wolverine claws. This is going to plug right in here. Alright, so really the only thing that he can't carry on his person without actually having it in his hand is the rifle. Everything else plugs directly into him. And now you have a silver looking wolf trooper, a gyro wolf trooper, I don't know. You guys can call it whatever you want. There he is standing normally. I was able to get the other ones on 1 foot running. So this guy should be no different. Backpack and all. And this is why I say you don't need stands. Alright, I've got Mutt standing here on 1 foot. He's been sitting there for months. People think that he's actually sitting on a stand. I'm like, nope, that is not a stand. Alright. So there you go. I will say this, with any type of plate carrier like this, it makes it difficult for a lot of figures to aim like they're shooting. It's just, again, they're action figures. You can only do so much, although this would have gotten a pretty good pose. I struggle with the other ones. That actually doesn't look that bad, but he's also shooting downward. So there you go. That is your Gyre Wolf, Gary Goggles, Skeletron review. Let's wrap this up. Alright, there you go. That is your Gyre Wolf. I think I'm saying it right. I know I've said it 100 times. Anyway, I like the silver. The silver pops. Now, not really good if you're in the jungle. That's why you have a jungle wolf. I only have one jungle wolf. I thought I ordered a couple. I know you're going, what the hell's a jungle wolf? I haven't got to it yet. Unless you're watching this after you watch the jungle wolf video. And then you're like, I saw that video. Why are you saying we don't know what it is? This is when I ramble on, and this is why my videos take so long to do. Anyway, these things are really cool. Now that this is the third one that I have opened, I haven't opened the second one of this. The playability is just like a classified or an Operation Monster Force or most 6-inch figures. A lot of fun, something different, yet something that I know a lot of people in the UK or overseas, Europe, they experienced an actual Robo Skull. I have no lore to it. I have no connection to it like a lot of other people. These things are just really cool. Owned by a really cool guy too. That's another thing. You want to support people that are good in the community and just good people. So anyway, there you go. I'm done. You stayed this long, so please take a second, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification so you're notified every time I drop a Skeletron review. Now you're probably going, man, you talked about those other ones, those Wolf Troopers so much. Did you review them? Well, you're in luck. That video is right here, and down here will be a playlist of all, I almost said the Operation Monster Force, but I didn't. I did now. Skeletron reviews that I've done. Take care.